dozen cookies and brownies and cakes and pies and caramel apples, and you've done multiple fundraisers for us already. My challenge to you is, one, I'd love to have you as a wonderful new member with us, but you know, all of those cute little brownies that used to be 12 that are 16 years old now, yes. What are you going to do to get those girls back to the shelter and volunteering and walking the dogs and cleaning kennels to help us out?
That's why I was hoping that we could start doing something in the neighborhood, you know, like with fundraisers or something like this. And like, okay, my granddaughter who was 15 and a half, she likes going to the cat house. She goes in there and she'll stay for like an hour petting the cats and that, you know. And she's a cat person. Me and my husband are really a dog person. And then, but just trying to get involved. And I thought by going around maybe like with fundraisers and selling, you know, because that's even having dinners, having family dinners as a fundraiser to give not only the children and the teenagers, but to give the parents and maybe get the parents involved, so then they will let their child do this, you know, even if it's like twice a month.
Sure.
To, you know, go over there and help out with the animals and stuff like this. And more fundraisers for them to get together more often, for not only just, you know, a couple of times, but to get the parents together, and maybe we can even get some adults helping more.
Yeah. And don't let your mission solely be based around fundraising. The care of those animals is just as important. You know, I'd love to see a bunch of teenage girls having a sleepover and a movie night at the animal shelter and hugging and loving those animals for a weekend.
Well, yes.
Something fun and different that.
And this way, if we could get the adults to know, you know, the other, okay, say the other families, and to know the other children there, then they'll say, well, I know so-and-so, you know, so yeah, my child can go, this one can go. So then it could be like a group thing, not just, you know, 2 or 3, and then everybody knows everybody, so then they feel secure and safe.
That's great.
And I brought some tickets that I bought from my other place that I used to volunteer at, if you want to look at. And then for a fundraiser, because they got, you know, different prizes and stuff, and they still send it to me because when we go up there, we still, they're a place where we used to volunteer. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Ruben.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that the only applicant?
No.
Got it.
Ms. Duncan? All right. You just kind of tell us about yourself and your interest in the AWB board.
I did not know about the AWB. That's hard to say. The Animal Welfare Board until recently, due to my current situation with my involvement with the animal shelter. I believe in, I have strong convictions for animal welfare. Every animal needs a voice. They need to be treated fairly, humanely, and they, for the most part, need a second chance. A lot of animals that go into the shelter don't always get a second chance. And I think the board can facilitate a lot of good things that could happen for the animals that we would be involved with. I'm currently a volunteer at the shelter. Happy to do it. I will continue for as long as I possibly can. And I'd like to be as involved on the board as well. I've had extensive, as a dog trainer, horse trainer. I love animals. Their welfare is utmost, you know, of importance to me. And I think I can bring some new energy.
Questions from the council? Any problem fulfilling the 2 years?
No problem.
Thank you, Ms. Duncan. Okay, moving on to interview applicants for the Economic Development Corporation. We've got place 1, place 3, place 5, place 7. Bruce Enriquez would like to reappoint. He's not here. He's not able to attend tonight, but he would be considered for that position. Councilman Clark.
Well, the others are here if you want to do that.
Yeah. Nancy Coquette.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Coquette, and I live at 240 McLaughlin. I do currently serve on the EDC board, and I would like to continue. You have questions for me?
The only question I have, Ms. Coquette, is whether or not you can continue to serve for the next 2 years for the commitment time.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Other questions from the council?
Nancy, why don't you give us a little bit of your feelings about serving on the EDC, what you find, do you have goals for the EDC as we move forward? Any thoughts you might want to share?
Yes. Number one, I'd like to be able to continue to see the current things that we're working on as far as helping and promoting awareness of Hickory Creek and what we have here to offer, and awareness about our densities here and what we may need to do to make our town a better town that we live in. I feel very passionate about making sure I'm well informed before I make any decisions, that I am educated on both sides of the situation before I move forward and put my vote forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Coogan. Mayor Kaiser?
Eric Weiser, 240 Livingston Drive.
All right, Mr. Weiser, why would you like to continue serving on the EDC board?
I've served on the EDC now for one term, 2 years, and I'm currently serving as treasurer of the EDC. One thing that I fully realize now that I don't think I realized totally in the past is how important it is to shop and spend our tax dollars here in Hickory Creek so that we can make our town stronger financially. I've enjoyed so much the opportunity to help bring a new business into town, Stellar, with over 200 jobs. And I really, really want to see the development of our downtown master plan and see what we've talked about and dreamed about for several years to come to pass. And I think now with the economy finally improving in Texas and in the nation, hopefully that we will be able to see that come to pass.
Any issues fulfilling the 2-year commitment?
No issues.
Okay. Questions from the council? Okay. Thank you, Mr. White. Susie, you may.
Suji May, 4 Red Oak Circle, Hickory Creek, and I would like to continue on the EDC board because I feel that we all work very well together. We have brought some new businesses in town. We have tried to make this a town that is business friendly, and we need to continue that, keep up the good work, because this is a great town to live in. We just need to promote it and show businesses that it's a great place to have a business.
Okay. Any problems fulfilling the 2-year commitment?
No.
Okay. Any future goals?
I would like to continue on the same path that we've been on and possibly bring more jobs and encourage people in the town to shop locally.
Okay. Questions from the council? What's that mean, Walmart? Thank you, Ms. May. And then the last was Bruce Enriquez, which couldn't be here tonight, but he would be glad to be considered for the reappointment. So, all right. Moving on to D4. Consider an act on the quick car Littleton for permit to allow the placement of an outside storage building on the property located at 4500 Swisher Road, Hickory Creek, Texas. Is there somebody here representing quick car Littleton? Jeffrey?
The way the ordinance reads, that any outside storage has got to come before council. So they turned in an application to us to have an outside storage. I was looking in there, I don't see if there's any pictures or anything.
There is in our packet.
Oh, there is. I mean, you can see it's a Conex box. If you know anything about a Conex box, they're wanting some additional storage, a quick car. They're going to put it on the back. You can see the diagram where they want to locate this at. That's pretty much it. I mean, we can't approve a job to approve it, so there's one y'all see it tonight.
Discussion amongst the council?
I like the fact that it's not permanent. It's definitely temporary, something that can be picked up with within a matter of an hour by a truck. I like if it's gonna be approved, I like that it's gonna be located right next to the dumpster in the direct back and non-visible from Swisher. We have several of these around town already. Walmart has 6 to 8 of them at any given time. I don't know that we've ever given them a permit for them or had to. If this is not a permanent storage solution, I'm not sure exactly how our ordinance reads, but what is this, do we really need to consider this unless did they tell us something, we've seen it for a year, for 2 years, for 3 months? I mean, it's basically just a trailer that's been offloaded.
I think it's a permanent fixture, quite well, understand it, never gonna leave.
Yeah. But if something went south, it would be easy to remove. It's not concreted in or anything like that.
If something went south, it would be a lot tougher for it to go back. Rod Langston asked him to,
Yeah, you could if you want to put a condition on it, that they're reviewed every year, that you could do that. I'm not sure how well, I don't know, is this in a different zoning district than Walmart? Is this peculiar to this particular zoning district where they had to get approval?
No, Walmart was done before I got employed here, so I don't know if they had some kind of standing commitment or what. We've never been approached by Walmart. But no, it's
that
the same
provision
thing.
just wasn't enforced in its previous operation, it is now. I think as long as the placement is agreed on, as it's screened, it seems like a reasonable use of the property.
got any other discussion?
I guess I'm a little concerned, I don't see any requirement for screening. I've driven back there and looked at it, it's gonna be a pretty large trailer sitting back there, and I'm mindful of the fact that we're trying to, that we're working on a development for our town center, and I'm trying to ask myself, how's this gonna look? It's not visible from Swisher, but it certainly would be in the town center plan. It is going to be majorly visible from the backside. And to me, I'm having trouble reconciling the look of that with the rest of our town center. Well, the rest of the council
I would like to add a comment. To me, it looks more like a pod that is used for somebody, temporarily moving their home. I would like some screening. I do agree that, Ronald Reagan and Swisher is even going to be more important as our town center develops. And I do have concern that it's temporary and that large metal box sitting there, and would like some screening around that before I would feel comfortable.
Is there screening around the trash bin? It looks like there's something.
Yes, it's got concrete, or not concrete, brick
is
wall.
all around
It's
it.
a brick enclosure.
But this, from the way this looks, it would just be sitting next to the brick enclosure.
Correct. Yeah, it's just slid off into a parking spot right next to the dumpster enclosure.
My concerns are the same. I see what they're trying to do, but to have a separate unit out there by the dumpster area is a perfect location. However, it's going to be sightful of everybody to drive through there, and that's my concern about it. The needs that they say is to store tools, auto parts, and additional equipment. I'd prefer them to maybe have an extension onto their own building instead of having something that's separate out there. That's just my 2 cents. And down the road, if we did approve this, a 1-year deal would be something I think we can come back on it and change. But once you grant it, it's kind of hard to take it back. So.
All right, any other discussion? Don't want to make a motion on this? No motion? Okay.
It's not an application for permanent place of action.
Okay.